Okay, welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to talk a little bit about something we use in woodworking and almost any construction trade out there, and that's called a bill of materials. What a bill of material is essentially a parts list, but the cost of the parts themselves are included on our bill of materials. So if you weren't aware, a parts list includes the type of material, the size of the part, how many parts, the cost of each part, and the total cost. In woodworking, we use two different types of measurements to figure out our bill of materials. We use board foot and square foot. Right here with the board foot, it is used to figure out the amount for solid lumber like the oak that you guys have been using for the most part. And that math problem is very simple. It's length times width times thickness divided by 144. Now, one thing I need you to make aware of though is that when the thickness of your material is less than 1 inch, say like 3/4 of an inch, like the projects you've been working on, we go ahead and we just round it up to a full inch. It just makes life a little bit easier as far as math goes. And it's not that big of a difference when it comes to price. So if we look over here, one board foot equals 12 inches times 12 inches, which is 144 inches, times 1 inch. So you have your length, your width, your thickness right there. That's 144 inches. Divided by 144, that's going to give us 1. Very simple to figure out. We will have more examples here shortly. Square foot, on the other hand, is used to figure out the amount of material for plywood. So the stuff that's already cut down to thickness, they come in those big 8 foot by 4 foot sheets that we cut our pieces out of. This math equation is actually a little bit more simple. It is just length times width divided by 144. So, of course, 1 square foot equals 12 inches times 12 inches, which equals 144 inches, divided by 144. That is going to equal 1. How we actually fill out our spreadsheets and figure out the cost of all of our parts is fairly simple. What we're going to do first is we're going to figure out how much our sides right here are going to cost. Our sides are made out of oak plywood right here. So we're going to use the plywood formula. So let's go. Oak plywood. Our length is 9. Our width is 22. And our thickness is 3/4. Well, since we're using plywood, the thickness doesn't really matter. So we're going to come down here. We're going to do 9 times 22 divided by 144. That's going to equal 1.375 square feet. We're not done though. That's for one piece. If you look up here at our quantity, you'll notice we actually have 2 of them though. So we're going to have to multiply that by our number of pieces. So 2 times 1.375 equals 2.75. And that's where this goes right there. So our quantity of board feet or square feet is this column. Our quantity of pieces is over there. Try not to get those two mixed up. Now, we need to consult our chart up here to figure out how much things are starting to cost us here. We have our total square footage. If we look up here, cost per square foot for 3/4 inch plywood is $1.44 per square foot. So our unit cost goes in right here. Boom, $1.44 per square foot. Then we go ahead and we multiply these two together. 2.75 times 1.44 equals $3.96. So these two pieces right here are two sides of 9 by 22 by 3/4 plywood, cost us a grand total of $3.96. Let's go ahead. Let's try a couple more of these. So let's first look at the type of material that we're going to be working with here. We're going to be using solid oak. So the board or the calculations that we're going to have to do are going to be length times width times thickness, unlike the plywood, which is just length times width. Here we're going to use length times width times thickness because it is solid. All right, so we'll come down here. We have 12 times 8 times not 3/4. Remember, if your measurement is less than an inch, you go ahead and round it up to just an inch. So we have 12 times 8 times 1 divided by 144 equals 0.67 board feet. We'll go ahead and plug that in right there. Let's figure out our unit cost here. Can anybody tell me right away how much our unit cost is going to be per board foot? I'll give you a second. $1.79. For those of you that said that, good job. So now what we have to do is we have to take our 0.67 board feet and times it by the $1.79 per board foot. And that's going to be $1.22. So this one fixed shelf of solid oak cost us $1.22. Let's now look here at our top and our bottom. As we can see, it's made out of solid oak. So of course, we're going to be using our length times width times thickness formula. Our length is 16, our width is 14, and our thickness is 2. Now, this is the first time we've come across anything that wasn't 1 in the thickness, but it's not going to affect us too much here. We just have to simply do the math correctly. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 16 times 14 times 2 divided by 144. Let's do 16 times 14 times 2 divided by 144. Well, wait a second. That number doesn't look like that number, does it? Can anybody tell me why? Exactly. If you look over here at our number of pieces, you'll notice that we actually have 2 of them. So whenever we come up with this total of this number divided times this number divided by 144, we also have to multiply it by how many pieces we have over here. So let's go ahead, let's do this times 2. And now we have our 6.22. Gotta pay attention to our number of pieces here, or else it's going to really mess up your cost estimate. So let's go ahead. If this is solid, how much does that cost? We know it's $1.79 per board foot. So 6.22 times 1.79 is $11.13. So our top and our bottom pieces are going to cost us a grand total of $11.13. We can keep going on and on throughout here. The math will always add up. The main thing you want to do is pay attention over here to the number of pieces that you have, and also pay attention to what material it's made out of. Because if you don't have this or this correct, this is going to be messed up, this is going to be messed up, this is going to be messed up, okay? Really take your time with this stuff and make sure that everything is plugged in correctly. So we can see here, for this particular project that we are going to be working on, it is going to cost us $22.03 in lumber material. What's great about the bill of materials is, like we talked about earlier, it is essentially a parts list for you. So when we complete our bill of materials correctly, it is a quick reference for part size and number of pieces that we need to make. This helps us keep track of what we have cut, what we have not cut, and this is going to make our lives a lot easier. So, what I'm going to have you guys do is in Google Classroom, you are going to check out this assignment that I posted in here. And what it's going to do is it's just going to ask you to basically do what we just did here. It gives you all the costs of the material. It gives you the formulas and everything. All you have to do is select the proper numbers that go in there. So we'll go ahead and we'll do number one real quick. Number one's right here. So it is asking us for our quantity of board feet. We have solid wood here, so that's going to be our length times our width times our thickness, but remember, less than an inch, we round up, okay? Divided by 144. So let's go ahead. Let's do 12 times 8 times 1. It's 96. Divided by 144 equals 0.666 to infinity and beyond. So let's go ahead. Let's find our closest one here. Looks like to me 0.67 is going to be our closest. We would then take our 0.67, that would be right here, times it by our unit cost. And then number 2 would be that number right there. So then you would go and you would pick whichever number that turns out to be. You guys got it? I think you do. Go ahead, grab a laptop from the laptop cart, go into Google Classroom, and get this done before the end of class, and then we can talk about it a little bit tomorrow. All right? Thank you.